I know I might look a little young to some of you. People always ask me, you sure you the age you are? Yes, I'm 39. Yes, I'm a preacher, and I know preachers don't look like me. I get that.
That's okay. Come on.
Oh, but this one. There's no one so lovely.
Come on. Yeah.
There's no one so faithful.
So faithful.
No one so lovely.
Yeah.
I said there's no one, no one, no one, no one, no one. I'm one of those people that I look to dues, I look to achievement, I look to anything that I could find, but I found that there was no one. No one so lovely.
Yes,
sing with me. No one so worthy. No one so faithful. There is no one, no one, no one so lovely. No one so worthy. No one so faithful. There is no one, no one. Say no one, no one, no one, no one, no one. Come on, give it. No one. If you feel that, no one, no one, no one. Come on, tell me. No, tell God. No one, no one, no one. The worshipers, no one. Grab your Bibles and stand with me. No one, no one, no one, no one, no one, no one. I've looked a lot of places, but no one. Turn in your Bibles, you keep singing, and you can turn at the same time, right? We can do more than one thing at once, right? We can vibe and get ready, right? No one. Turn with me in your Bibles to Psalm 107. No one so faithful. No one, 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 no one. There is no one, no one. Amen. No one.
Amen. Bless your name, God.
Hear this reading from Psalm 107. I'm going to be skipping around a little bit. It says, give thanks to the Lord, for she is good. Her love endures forever. Let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story. Those she redeemed from the hand of the foe. Those she gathered from the lands, from the east and the west, from the north and from the south. I got somebody from the east side, from the west side, from the north side, and the south side in the building. Some wandered in desert wastelands, finding no way to a city where they could settle. They were hungry and thirsty, and their lives ebbed away. They cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and she delivered them from their distress. Some sat in darkness, in utter darkness, prisoners, suffering in iron chains because they rebelled against God's commands. I'm on verse 11. Because they rebelled against God's command, despised the plans of the Most High. Am I the only one that had a place where they despised the plans of the Most High? Then verse 13 says, then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and she saved them from their distress. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't see that she. It's there though. Verse 14. She brought them out of darkness, the utter darkness, and broke away their chains. Little ravens that be in the building. Verse 17. Some became fools for their rebellious ways and suffered affliction because of their iniquities. They loathed all food and drew near the gates of death. Then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and she saved them from their distress.
Yeah.
I'm on verse 20. She sent out her word and healed them. She rescued them from the grave.
Yes. Well,
Verse 23 says, so some went out on the sea ships. There were merchants on the mighty waters. They mounted up to the heavens and went down to the depths in their peril. Their courage melted away. Then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and she brought them out of their distress.
Yeah.
She stilled the storm to a whisper, and the waves of the sea were hushed. Let no one who is wise heed these things. Let the one who is wise heed these things and ponder the Hesed of the Lord. That's what it says in the Hebrew. Or ponder the Hesed of the Lord, the loving kindness of the Lord. Let me read verse 43 again. It said, let the one who is wise heed these things and ponder the Hesed of the Lord. Would you pray with me? Gracious God, we come before you on this afternoon, giving you thanks and praise, oh God, for you are awesome. You are worthy. You are lovely, God. You've been so good to us, God.
yes, Lord.
So very good. Your loving kindness, God.
Yes, God. Yes.
Lord, have mercy. We thank you.
Yes.
So we come to this preaching and teaching moment, God, asking you, God, that we wouldn't be the same, God, that we wouldn't just come here to hear and listen, God, but that this word would get activated in our lives, oh God, that this word would get activated in our communities and in our world, God, that we wouldn't waste our time coming to church if it makes no difference in the community.
Yes. Come on. Thank you.
We're crying out, oh
yes,
Lord.
God. Yes, God.
Hear our cry.
Yes. Hear our cry, Lord.
Hear the cry of this preacher this morning, Lord. Help me, God, not to get in the way. You got to use me, so I recognize that. But I'm asking you, God, to help us so that I don't interrupt, Spirit, what you want to do. Flow. Do your thing, and we'll be sure to give you all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. And it's in Jesus' name that we declare this. Can somebody say amen? Amen. Somebody say amen? Amen. You got to touch somebody. Go say, neighbor, do you know the Hesed of God? Oh, Lord have mercy. Go to somebody else. Go talk to somebody else. Don't you like when you come to church and you heard a word you never heard before? Say, neighbor, do you know the Hesed of God? Amen. Can you take a seat? Somebody ask somebody to turn the lights up for me. I feel like I'm kind of in a little bit of a dark space. There we go.
You're going to have to come out of it.
So I can see. Hesed. Hesed is our topic for this afternoon's sermon. But before I kind of get to the meat of that and this text, it's a beautiful text that we have before us in Psalm 107. I need to kind of talk about the series we've been in. We've been in a series entitled The Fruit of the Spirits. And as I was talking to some teenagers yesterday, I'm a chaplain, some of you may not know, full-time. I work as a chaplain in juvenile detention centers in the St. Louis area. So I'm very much, for the last 9 years, have been mostly with African-American male boys. That's who I spend the majority of my time around serving. And so I was talking to them yesterday about the fruit of love. I was talking to them about love. And you know, I played for them all my favorite love songs. And I played Neo. And you know, and I'm one of those people, I don't know if you guys are critical music listeners, but I can like a song and at the same time critique the song.
Okay.
And so definitely when I'm thinking about the fruits of the Spirit, I'm thinking about love. I'm listening to my favorite love song. I was listening to Let Me Love You. Until you learn to love yourself. I love it. Let me love you. I was singing, the kids like, look at you, that's don't be afraid. Girl, let me hang. I mean, I loved it. But then at the same time, I had to come right behind it and I said, do you guys hear the problem with that song? Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, you know, procedure we talking about, what's wrong? It's a good love song. I said, I see that there's something Neo's teaching about love that ain't quite correct. That you can't love nobody if they don't love themselves.
Okay, come on.
Or did you catch that in the song? Let me love you until you learn to love yourself.
Yeah.
Or, I can't love you until you learn to love yourself.
Come on. You teach it. Come on. Help us.
Let me give another one. Then I put on Justin for him. I love it. If your love is all I had. That's my jam in this life. He just singing. That would be enough. I'll sing it to the end of time. Ooh, boo, 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 boo. Justin, we got a problem. That's my jam. we got a problem, Justin. If your love is all I have,
You in trouble.
until the end of time.
Oh my God.
Is there a love that's missing?
Come on.
If your love is the only love that I have until the end of the time, I have a problem, because the love that I really need to have is the love of God. And if I don't have that love until the end of time, I'm in trouble.
That's right. Come on.
And so when we're looking at these fruits of the Spirit, you have to understand that you can't get the fruits without the Spirit.
That's it.
Come on. A lot of times we want to skip, we want the presence of God. You know, presence, P-R-E-S-E-N-T-S, but we don't want the presence of God, the P-R-E-S-E-N-C-E. And you can't get the fruits of the Spirit without being soaked and drenched in the Spirit. I want to make sure that we understand that we can't access this stuff except through God. We got to be rooted in love. That's why you can't love nobody if you haven't known yet the love of God.
Right.
You're not capable, you're not whole, you're not complete. You can't love nobody if you don't know how much God loves you. If you don't know how precious you are.
You got to be there.
You got to get that first before you can show forth the fruit of the Spirit. That's why it says the joy of the Lord is my strength. But you got to, there's the fullness of joy, what? In the presence of the Lord. Some of us have to get on our face. Some of us have been pity-patting with God, and we think we're going to be able to have self-control. And you don't get a drive-by prayer with God that morning. And you know you got to face these fools at this job. And you think you're going to have self-control, and you're not going to go off in your own strength.
Real talk.
And these folks been getting on your nerves for 6 months now.
Yeah.
And you doing drive-by prayers in the morning. We got to be rooted in the Spirit. We have to be soaked and drenched in the Spirit in order to produce the fruits of the Spirit. Are y'all with me?
Yes.
So when we get to this psalm today, this psalm is, it's not really what you think. When you hear loving kindness, you think, well, it's either going to be on kindness or it's going to be on love. But it's really about both. And that's why I chose a different word. It's the actual Hebrew word where you see this in the passage. It's called Hesed. Everybody say Hesed.
Hesed.
It's spelled H-E-S-E-D in the Hebrew. Hesed. In seminary, I had an Old Testament professor, Dr. Clint McCann. He would just get so excited, boy. I mean, he taught me Hebrew, so I do know some Hebrew. It's kind of rusty now. It's been a while, about 6 years since I had Hebrew. But we had Hebrew, and then we had Hebrew writing. So you go to a class, you actually learn Hebrew, actually learn the letters and how to put the words together, and then you actually go through readings. We begin to read scriptures in Hebrew. I know this sounds strange, but this is how you really know what's being said versus what somebody translates. Okay. Very critical. Okay. I'm trying to teach you some stuff and teach you at the same time. Okay. And so he loved this word Hesed. He thought it was a critical word for us to understand, to begin to discern the nature of God. So let me give you several definitions of the word Hesed. Hesed is defined by James Mays as the goodness of the Lord as Redeemer. It is an everlasting attribute of the character of God that occasionally manifests itself in the saving acts of God. Hesed is the eternal reality of God. I'm going to break it down for you in a minute. Don't worry. I'm always break it down for you, but I got to give you this version first. Hesed is also the eternal reality of God that manifests itself in human history through specific salvific acts of God. It's when God refills you. It's when God reconciles you. It's when God restores you. It's when God rescues you. See, Hesed is what drops off from the being of God that comes and gets us when we can't get ourselves. It's God walking around in God's self, in God's loving kindness. And it's the sweat, the little pieces, the little drops, the little crumbs that fall off of who God is that comes into our lives and snatches us, grabs us. And so this psalm really is a presentation of the platforms, of the stages by which God's Hesed comes and snatches us up. Are y'all ready? There's 4 of them. Each one of the stanzas, each one of those blocks in the psalm is a representation of one of those ways that God's Hesed comes and rescues us. The first stanza is that God can deliver us from our hunger and from our thirst. Oh, Jesus, I'm talking. Are there any hungry or thirsty people?
Yeah.
Let me talk about some how I was thirsty. God, see, we chase things that we thought would feed us and quench our thirst. We chased the relationship. When we got done with it, we ended up more empty than when we started. We chased paper. When we found out that that wasn't going to work, we realized we needed purpose. Some of us have chased serving and helping only to end up empty and depleted. I'm talking about God can deliver us from hunger and from thirst. Let me go back to we chased the relationship. It ended up more empty than when we started. I'm talking about hungry and thirsty people. Are there hungry and thirsty people? I ain't talking about your physical thirst.
Right.
I'm talking about that emotional thirst. I'm talking about that sexual thirst. Oh, yes, we say sex here in church. Come on. You know, when you end up in some places. I remember, right? I remember, man, this little phase that I was in. This phase where I was hungry and thirsty. Now, to the dude, or dudes, I should say, they probably thought that, you know, oh, she was just a freak. The kids call it a thought now. I don't know if y'all on that thoughtism. That thoughtism. That's what the dudes probably thought in their mind. That's what they were saying. Oh, she just ratchet. But I was hungry and thirsty.
Come on now.
It wasn't for the physical thing that I was after. But at that particular time, I was so thirsty for acceptance. I was so thirsty for somebody to wrap their arms around me. Even if it was somebody that didn't really care about me and they was really after one thing. You know what I'm saying? But just them few moments that I could sneak in the middle of that and get some love. I was trying to get it.
Come on, that's it.
I'm talking about when I was hungry and when I was thirsty.
Come on.
And so I'm asking you because when were you hungry? Some of you hungry and thirsty right now.
Well, don't set us out, Pastor.
I'm just being real. Chasing some stuff. Chasing some stuff because you're hungry and thirsty because there's something in you that's depleted. And God is waiting for you to cry out. It says in the psalm, it says, then we cried out and our droughts were drenched. Some of you didn't realize until you cried out that you can enjoy your own company. Some of you just figuring it out. That being single is okay. You didn't know that you like being in your house by yourself so much. You're walking around the house like, what was wrong with me?
It's okay.
God can drench this thing. God got this. I don't have to be out there thirsty and hungry. I'm good. I can be by myself. Some of you didn't realize you could be so broke and so happy and so provided for. Somebody testify. You didn't realize it when you said, you know what? I'm going to stop doing what these people. See, I talked to leaders about this yesterday. We got to get to a point where we stop doing what we have to do and start doing what we want to do. You know, it's drudgery to keep doing what you have to do, you know? And so, what this text is about is when we're hungry and we're thirsty, we'll do whatever somebody else wants us to do. And so some of us have figured out, you know, it's better for me to be broke and be on purpose. It's just better than doing stuff that I really don't want to do or need to be doing and have a pocket in the bank full of money. Some of us have figured out, this is my last one, that you didn't realize you can learn to be grateful for nothing to do and no one to do it for. And knowing when to say no.
Amen.
When you used to say yes.
Amen.
You done cried out because you done got overwhelmed, right? You're doing stuff for everybody. You're taking care of everybody else's life except for your own. You're taking care of everybody else's house except for your own. You're taking care of everybody else's spirit except for your own. And at some point, you get tired. And God said, I'm waiting for you to cry out. So I can deliver you, so I can take some of my Hesed and wrap you back in. And make sure that you're fed and that your thirst is quenched. God can deliver us from our hunger and from our thirst.
Thank you, God. Hallelujah.
Lord Jesus.
Thank you, God.
God can deliver us from our prisons. That's the next stanza. Do you see it? God can deliver us from our prisons, paying the consequences of ignoring God's wisdom. Oh my God. Long nights of darkness and depression. The long days of obsessing over attention, applause, and access. A prison. I'm going to have to call somebody else. Either you're going to have to mark this out. I've said it before. But you know, there's this whole thing in St. Louis about folks being in these prisons. They're in these prisons of access. The preachers do it, so I'm not eliminating the preachers. But I used to go to the Urban League Young Professionals meeting. And one of the reasons I stopped going is because people were just in there kind of kowtowing, trying to get access to stuff. It wasn't really, at that time, I think now that there's some new leadership is different, but at that time it was about people getting access. It wasn't about people doing anything for the community or what the community does. Not what it was about. It was about them trying to get access, about them trying to jockey for spots and positions and titles. You know, people do that at church too. And so what I'm trying to say is, what prison are you in right now? What place in your life is dark? Some of us got chains on us and we don't even know that we got chains on us. One of the things that liberation is trying to do is break some of the chains off of you theologically. Some of you don't love yourself, and you don't even know how you don't love yourself, but you forgot that somebody back there told you shouldn't love yourself, that you can't celebrate who you are and who you're with, that you can't do that. And so you come to church, but you're still not really sure that you're okay. Oh, let me say this a little plainer so you can understand exactly what I'm saying. I had to call the GLBTQ community out. I'm not going to call y'all to sit down. I had to call it out. This is what I said. Somebody put a little Kermie thing on Facebook. And the little Kermie face said, it's none of my business. I saw your pastor at Pride, but it's none of my business. And it had Kermie drinking like a little bit of tea. I saw your pastor at Pride, but it ain't none of my business. And then I said, well, yeah, I was at Pride. And where else would I be? The question that the GLBTQ community should be asking is, why wasn't your pastor at Pride? And if they wasn't there, why are you still at their church? I'm talking about the prison that people are in. Because you've been taught certain things, you think certain things, and you don't even know you got shackles and chains chasing behind you. And God chasing behind you, trying to get you free. That's what the text is asking. The text is asking, what darkness are you in? So when we cried out, just in the nick of time, in the misery of our mess, God floods our lives with light and love. God gives us enough light to break every chain. Some of the chains have to be broken by us. God ain't going to snap them off. You got to snap them off. God's showing you the light to show you there's chains on your foot, dog. There's chains on your brain. There's chains on your mindset. There's chains on your finances. There's chains on your behavior. There's chains on your choices. I'm just going to shine a light on it so you can see, so you can pick up something and break the chain yourself.
Okay. Yes.
But will we cry out? But will we cry out? The next stanza moves to sickness and death. Do you guys see that in the stanza? You're not going to like this one, but just stay with me. This text, I just want to read this part for you. Some became fools through their rebellious ways and suffered affliction because of their iniquities. Verse 17. Do y'all see that in that stanza? Some of us did what we wanted to do and lived how we wanted to, and now we're living through the consequences of that.
My God, my God.
Some of us did stuff that we knew were killing us, and we kept doing it.
See?
Some of us chose sin over sanity.
Real talk.
I know this gets confusing, so let me unconfuse you. When I'm talking about sin, I'm not talking about sexuality or orientation. I'm talking about sin when we break relationship with God, with ourselves, and with each other. When we know that what we're doing is driving us crazy.
Yes.
We know it's driving us crazy. We know it's hurting us. We know it's hurting other people. And we know it's hurting God. And we still keep on doing it. Have you been there? Have you been in that place where you're like, God, what's wrong with me? I'm sick unto death. That's what this text is saying. I'm sick unto death. I keep saying I'm not going to do it, but I keep on doing it. I said I'm going to stop, but I don't stop. I do what I feel like I'm being bad enough to do, and then I'm out there. When it was killing us and we kept doing it. Are we willing to cry out? Are we willing to cry out and ask God to save us from the distress and the destruction? When God rescues us from the garbage that we created ourselves. Sickness unto death. Here's the last stanza. It's the storms at sea. You notice in the text, it's about the storms that we enter into. How many of you have been in some storms in your life? My God. How many of you are in some storms right now? Right now, Lord. This is really the compass of this particular text. What we once found exciting is now overwhelming. Has anybody been there? Yeah. It used to be fun. It used to be cool. But now it's not. We found ourselves in a storm without a compass because we took off in a boat without a captain.
You see, that's a real place to be there. That's a real
I just got on the boat. I got on the boat. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. The Spirit told me this morning, you know, I love you, Dietra. I really do. I love you. But this thing that we have to work out is this orientation thing. It's this thing where you go and then you ask me to follow you into battle. You know, you go set up meetings and you go and talk to folk and you go and do these things and you ask me to come and follow you. And I just want us to get into a place where you get this thing right where I go and you follow me. Don't you think that is a safer place? Yeah. Some of the storms that you've been in ain't caused by other people. That's what this text is saying. Some of the storms that we get into are self-inflicted because we got in the boat and drove and didn't ask God to come with us. That one to come. Come on, Jesus. And see, this is the wonderful thing about the loving kindness of Hesed. Is that when we cry out, this is why I use she, because I think a mother with a child can understand this best, because this is exactly how the text functions. When you begin to cry out, it's just like a mother when she hears her baby cry out.
Come on.
Some mothers can take it for a little while, but when your baby keep on crying, when your baby keep on crying and saying, I'm in trouble, I did something that I wasn't supposed to do, I went somewhere I wasn't supposed to go, I went without you guys. When your baby keeps on crying, now we're the mothers in the building. Your child, we're dealing with it in my family right now, in a situation. If anything ever happens to this particular family member, my cousin, if anything happens to her, she can call any of us. And if she say, come get me, we've been talking to her, but she keep putting herself in the situation. Okay. But if she pick up that phone and say, come get me, we're going to go get her. Yeah. And this is who God is. This is what God's Hesed is. It don't matter how many times we mess up. It doesn't matter how many times we drove off and left God on the shore. It doesn't matter how many times we decided we was going to go forward without God. When we cry out, God is going to hear our cry and come and rescue us. Yes. So my question this morning is, what platform are you on today? My God. Which one of them is it? Did you take off and you left God on the shore? You on the boat, now you in the middle of wind and rain and a hurricane. And you don't know how you got there. You about to drown. And you're saying, you know what, I think I better cry out. Maybe you're in this thing where you're picking sin over sanity. My God. You know what you're doing is going to kill you if you keep on doing it, but you don't know how to stop. Will you cry out? There's just one decision in between deliverance and disaster. It's the decision to cry out. That's what activates the Hesed of God. Saying, God, I can't do it. I've been trying. I've been trying to manage it, God. I've been trying to do it. Last night I just cried as I talked to God about some things in my own life. God, I've been trying to do it, God. I'm overwhelmed, God. I can't do it. I'm crying out, God. I'm asking you to interrupt. I'm asking you to intervene in the situation. There's something about the battles of God that actually get activated when we cry out.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's the eternal nature of God's Hesed that can't deny us when we cry out. If you or someone would just cry out, God will hear our humble cry, and God won't pass us by. What do you need to cry out for today? St. Louis, we need to cry out for justice.
Yes, Lord. Yes.
We need not let the Lord pass this city by. Amen. Yes. Someone is hungry and thirsty, literally and emotionally.
Yes, God.
Stop playing, stop fronting like you got this.
Yeah.
Cry out. Someone is bound and needs to be liberated. Somebody got chains that they don't even know that they have. Cry out. Someone should be dead by now by their own decisions.
Well, now.
But God said, well, if you would just cry out. Someone is about to drown in a storm. God said, all you got to do is cry out.